the light on. So.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, do you mind just connecting it to this cable here? Yeah, sorry. I've lost my internet now. Why is it taking 5 years to connect? Okay, let me try again. Okay, I hope I'm back on. I hope I'm back on. Please tell me I'm back on. Do I have to restart this? Let me just check quickly. Let's just check if I have to restart my stream. Okay. Is this working? Okay. Okay, I'm back on. Okay. Thank you. Okay, right here. I'm so sorry about the interruption. The beauty of live streaming, you know. I need a checklist to remind me what I need to do because it's, and she just pointed out while we were off air as well, you forgot to turn on that light. So there we go. We're back on and we're beautiful and all that. Okay, so onion, okay?
Yep.
And let's.
You can ask me to do anything like that.
Yeah, actually, can I get you a quarter that and throw it in here?
Quarters in.
Yeah.
Easy.
So.
And, do I need to put more gloves on?
Yeah, just keep putting more gloves on.
Okay.
I go through like half a box of gloves per per broadcast. I'm very glove centric. And it annoys people who are very environmental because then I get people complain.
I'm an environmental person.
Yeah, complain that you use too many gloves, but no, you know. Yeah. And this is galangal, guys. This is actually minced galangal from a previous broadcast, right?
What is galangal?
Galangal is like a type of ginger.
Oh, it is. Okay,
but it has a more earthy flavor to it.
Okay.
So not quite not quite as sharp as ginger, but yeah, more of an earthy undertone. We're gonna chuck some of this into this. I want it all blended in with the onion, right? So I'm gonna chuck some of this in here. Now this is a different recipe to what I've got online, right? I told you before that I used to use a commercial product and then I would add onion, lemongrass, garlic, sugar, and salt to it. Okay, so those are the ingredients I used to throw in. But I'm changing because we're not using that commercial product. And that commercial product, for the record, if you look at the ingredients list, it reads like a. So I've chucked in the leftover lemongrass from my previous. Yeah, just minced lemongrass here. So I'm chucking this in right now. Garlic. I want lots of garlic in here. So I'm just tossing these garlic cloves in there. Cloves in there. And you want, what did I do? Here we go. Turmeric.
You did about 8 cloves there, or 9 cloves.
Yeah, I could use more too. This is turmeric powder. Here you go. And I'm adding basically I'm adding the turmeric powder in lieu of the commercial satay marinade. Now, the commercial satay marinade, if you read through the ingredients list, it reads like any curry mixture. So do you use curry powders in your cooking?
Yes.
Okay. So curry powder, usually, if you read through the ingredients list, it'll have turmeric, coriander, cumin, fennel, that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that's what it read like. And I have to tell Gay, if you're watching this, I know Gay's not watching because she's busy, but she will be watching the replay, I heard. But she mentioned that she followed my satay recipe from my cookbook, right? And I pointed out to her at the time, look, my cookbook satay recipe was actually a reconstructed recipe by my cookbook editor, okay, because she felt that it didn't sound very authentic. If I was to say, you know, get a can of commercial marinade and add this. So what she did basically was deconstruct what was marinade. So because it contained coriander, fennel, cumin, all that sort of stuff. So she basically changed it to say, okay, put coriander, turmeric, you know, all that sort of stuff in it. But in reality,
to make it easier.
Yeah, in reality, even though my my satay recipe based around like using the commercial product was really nice, in reality, if you go to any Malaysian recipe book for satay recipes, it's actually a lot simpler than that. You don't need the coriander powder, you don't need the fennel, you don't need the cumin and all that. So this time around, we're actually cutting those out. Okay, so, but we are putting some galangal, which wasn't in the original list. Okay, so we've got this, but ideally I would have liked more lemongrass. So I'm going to throw in some of the lemongrass powder. Okay, so let's do this. Have you used the Thermomix?
No.
Okay.
This is a great day. I've never used one of these vacuum things.
I know, right? You're going to go home thinking, oh, I need this, I need that. Okay, so let's see. Everything's still looking okay.
I know where I can come in and out. Things to be vacuumed.
Deacon, hi, thank you about my. Am I making Greek food? No, I'm doing Malaysian food. Do I look Greek to you?
I'm not Greek either.
Yeah, she's apparently, I found out just before we came on air that she's half Assyrian and half English, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's
this is not Greek.
We're just going to use the Thermomix as a okay.
I'd like to be Greek. Sorry, that's keep going.
You could pass for Greek. Okay, so here we go. Okay. Can you smell it?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Can you have a hunt for a spatula in my kitchen?
Yes.
That's why I brought her, really. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So we've got this, right? And you know what? I'm going to put sugar in this, fair bit of sugar, more than most people would feel comfortable with. But that's because, now, satays, right? And first of all, just let's get this out of the way. Australians always get this wrong, right? They always call these, right, the sticks. And yeah, that yellow one's fine, yeah. Australians always call this the sticks, right? And they call the peanut sauce the satay. Have you found that?
Yes.
That's wrong,
That's
okay?
True. Yes.
This is the satay. This is the satay, and the sauce is the sauce. The sauce is the peanut sauce, okay?
Wow.
So I know that
that's very interesting.
yeah. So the satay, you can call it satay sauce, but it's not the satay itself. The satay is the stick, okay? So I'm being very pedantic, but it just drives me insane when people say, "Oh, I want some satay with my rice or something like that," and it turns out what they mean is they want the sauce, okay? Anyway, sugar. It's about 4 tablespoons of sugar. Like I said, it's about just under a kilo of meat over here. I'm going to put, you know what, I'm going to be a little bit interesting and add some, how's my connection so far? Let me know, guys. This should be a much improved connection, okay? But if there's a problem, let me know. So let me just sprinkle. This is actually Malaysian palm sugar. It shouldn't. I'm just being cheeky because I happen to have some crumbled palm sugar. But usually, I remember back in my day when I was being quite, I guess, specialized in satay. I actually used to use brown sugar.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have brown sugar. I don't have brown sugar lying around today, so I've just stuck in a combination of white sugar and palm sugar, right? Okay. But otherwise, I think from memory, I used to use some brown sugar plus some white sugar.
Right.
Okay. So whatever works. Let's. I'll get you to kind of like scrape this in and then just mix it around a little bit if you don't mind. And I'm going to throw. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to throw in some salt as well. Here we go. Now, I think it tasted to me like that commercial product might have had MSG in it.
Oh, okay.
Which to me is delicious. I think like if this tastes not quite there, if this tastes not quite there, that might be the reason, okay? But it tasted to me like it had like chicken powder. You know, I always talk about chicken powder, by the way, if you could watch any of my past podcasts, right? Yeah, we'll see anyway. Chicken, those pig. Okay, so we are going to have a problem by the looks of it. Someone's trying to be a troll. Someone's trying to troll me with comments. Look, guys, you can troll the hell all you want, but like I've been doing this for 4.5 years, and I actually like trolls because it gives me the opportunity to create content. So if it gets to that point, I've done this before, I will hunt you down and I will name and shame you on my blog. And don't forget, I've got 1.9 million followers who are exposed to my writings. Okay, so if you want to be famous, that's one way to do it. pick a fight with me online. Okay, so let's just throw this in, okay, and then mix it in. Yeah, use your gloves, yeah, absolutely, and then we'll scrape some of this in as well.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry.
Cool. No, all good. And okay, so we've done that, and we are going to. It'll be interesting to see if the palm sugar actually works, because it's a little bit, I guess, not as easily dissolvable as I had hoped.
So right? Bits of
there might be bits of brown stuff. We'll see how we go anyway. So we've got that. I'm going to get a couple of things out. Need the lemongrass. Don't need this. So I'll move these out of the way.
Okay, I think I've pretty much got.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So this is the marinating thing that we're going about to do.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do this. Okay. You can take off your gloves if you like. Okay. So this is what it looks like now, right? Usually you would need to marinate this like in the fridge overnight or whatever, but we're going to try. I'm just going to wipe this down just to make sure that it creates a good seal.
Good idea.
Okay. Here you go. Cool.
I'm going to keep disappearing into my hands.
Thanks, Peter. Okay, so let's do this. So let me know if there's any problems with my video still, guys, because Peter said that he was having problems with it. Let's try this. Hope this works. I think I want to open this, turn this to open, turn this to vacuum. Okay, turn this to vacuum.
Where's the vacuum?
And over here, and automatic functions, normal, gentle, vacuuming, sealing. I think this is how you use it. Let's try moist food. Okay, let's close this. Moist, normal, vacuum, and canister. Actually, okay, canister. That's what I want. That would help.
It helps if it's actually on food.
Yeah. Okay, it looks like it's created a seal. No. Let's try this again. Let's try it. Okay, go canister. Okay. Marinate with V8 models. Okay. I guess I have to turn it to marinate with all other models. Okay, I think it's done. I guess I close and store it for a moment. Let's see how we go.
We'll trust
put this aside. Right. Now, what I might get you to do, if you don't mind just rinsing this out, but just try and keep the base dry and also the lid as well, if you don't mind.
Electricals.
Yeah, thank you. So we're going to next make the, let's see if this is heating up. Okay. I hope the rice cooks up in time. If not, I will take a photo of it later on so you can see what it looks like, right? But, okay. Yeah, so let's see if anyone else has any problems with my video. But we're going to make the peanut sauce next, right? And one other cheat that I used to apply with making the peanut sauce was that I would use not just roasted peanuts, but I will also add some crunchy peanut butter to it, okay? Again, look, guys, give me a break, because when I first started out the whole Malaysian food thing, I actually learned some of my recipes from my stepmom, who basically also learned a lot of stuff by trial and error, right? My parents, my real mom and my dad used to be street food vendors, but they didn't sell satay. So this was kind of like her home recipe, and she used a combination of peanuts. These are peanuts that I've roasted, okay, if you can see these. And you can buy these peanuts off the shelf, off the shell, right? They've been shelled and they've been like skinned, so they're skinless peanuts. And at Asian grocery stores, they are packed in 1 kilo bags or larger, and you can buy them basically yeah, they're not actually raw peanuts. They've actually been poached, I believe, right? So what you want to do when you get these is actually roast them in the oven. But what I used to do was actually deep fry them, okay? Because like I said, restaurant and all that, and I had the deep fryer. But we used to stick these into baskets and deep fry them till they're brown. Roasting in the oven just means that you have to kind of like mix it around, make sure that it's well, you know, it's cooked through properly. But nowadays, I actually use an air fryer to cook my peanuts, okay? So I've got an air fryer to fry this up with. But that's the peanuts there. And what I want to do now is actually make the chili paste that we are going to cook up separately, okay? These are some chilies from my previous broadcast. Here you go, you can see this, okay? They've been soaked, right? That's why they look soggy like this, but they started out as dried chilies, and I'll show you. This is what they look like. Whoa! Here you go. So this is the original bag. Everything I buy is like in industrial quantities because I still run a business, okay? But this is what they look like at your grocery store if you buy them. And people always ask me what type of chilies they are. Now, for the record, for our type of cooking, for Southeast Asian cooking, we really only care about what we call big chilies and small chilies or bird's eye chilies, okay? So we don't have the nuances of like, you know, the Szechuan this and all that sort of stuff. I know in Szechuan in China, they use a whole lot of different varieties of chili. And I know Americans are very familiar with habanero and jalapeno and all that sort of stuff. No. Yeah, jalapeno. Yeah, we don't. Okay, we just call these big chilies. So you go to your Asian grocery stores and look for the dried goods section. There will be labeled dried big chilies. Okay, and this is what you want. This is what it looks like. And the way you use it is you would actually. I always tell people just boil it in some water for about 5 minutes, covered, and then tip out the water, and then that's what you'll get. Okay, but most recipe books actually tell you. Most recipe books tell you to actually just soak it in hot water, but to me, soaking it never cuts it, right? Because
you rehydrate.
Yeah. You want to actually boil it for a bit just to make sure it rehydrates properly. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna throw this in the jug here, and I'll add a little bit of water. And what this gives me is basically chili paste, and we're going to use some of it, not all of it, for our satay. Here, okay. Here you go. So I'm just going to grab. Do you have a lid?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. So let's just do this. And again, I'm just using this as a block.
What was that?
Basically, for those who are not familiar with thermo cooks and thermo mixers, they are not just kitchen aids. Basically, they work as multi-function kitchen appliances, and one of its function is just as a food processor, blender. Okay, and that's
Yep.
Wow.
that was
a
chili as well.
Yeah.
Stop breathing.
That's exactly what it is.
Don't breathe it in.
Okay, so we got that. And actually, I just remember I got to blend some. Actually, I do have actually some dried garlic, so let's not worry about the fresh garlic for this next lot. I'm going to get rid of this since we don't need this anymore. And let's just move this.
Take it away for you.
Yeah, if you don't mind just sticking it over there in that. On the shelf. Yeah, next to the white ice cream maker. Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to make the peanut sauce. Okay, I'm just going to grab, I'll grab my little stove for this. Okay, how long do we need to marinate the chicken usually? Usually they suggest 8 hours. I used to marinate them for like at least a day and a half before I started like skewering them. Hi Avril, thanks for joining. Video and sound is good. Okay, you would have said that like 15 minutes ago. It was a little bit disastrous, but it's the beauty of live streaming. But okay, so let's just heat up some oil in this, and then we're gonna make some peanut sauce. I'm gonna grab one of my saucepans over here. Okay, so this is just my scan pan, and I've got some peanuts that I've crushed previously.
Okay, very good.
This is almost like a paste actually, so this might be a little bit tricky
Did you add
to
water
execute.
to it, or
No,
get it like that, or
I actually,
like that?
for whatever reason, I decided to blend this really, really soft, so it's actually virtually like peanut butter. Okay, but yeah. Okay, we'll have to break it up a bit. It's just I've just realized that unless you want to, yeah, we don't want to bother with rinsing anymore, because I've got usually I've got like Thermomix and a thermocook, and between the two of them, like you get everything done. But I just don't want to have to go through the hassle of washing this out, drying it properly, and then processing these peanuts, because that's all I've got left of these roasted peanuts anyway. Okay. But usually, yeah, this is what this came from. Yeah. So yeah, so this is what this is what this came from. Okay. But these are just like I said, these are like peeled peanuts. You can buy them at Asian grocery stores, and they come in packs of like 1 kilo or something like that. And then you would just roast them in the oven. Just make sure you mix them around, because they tend to cook unevenly. And also you can deep fry them, which is what I used to do in my restaurant. But this was roasted basically in an air fryer. Okay, dry roasted. So got a saucepan over here. First we're going to make the chili paste, right? Just heat this up. I'm being very, very traditional here, because like I said, Malaysian Satays, usually you would serve it with like the peanut sauce. And if you're just joining me now, right, guys, that's one of my pet peeves that I've just been whining to her about. Aussies watching this will always get it confused. The peanut sauce is not the satay, okay? The peanut sauce is the satay sauce, but it's not the satay. And it frustrates me, because, like I said, I run it as a business, and when people say they want some satay with their rice or whatever, you think they want satays, and you cook them some satays. No, I just want the sauce. Okay, that's frustrating. So don't get it confused. Satays are the meat on the stick. Okay. So heating this up, and okay, let's see how this is going. Oops! Oh no! A bag of rice. Yeah.
Oh well.
I should have double sealed this, I think.
Yes.
Okay. So
next time.
Next time we know. Okay. But basically, what I was trying to make was these compressed rice squares, and this is how I used to make them. I used to basically pack them in these bags. You know what? Let's try and transfer it into a cloth bag and then tie it up and see how we go. Okay.
Improvise.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, you know, to make compressed rice, I'm just using these muslin bags here. Okay, there are 2 layers of muslin bags, one inside the other, and let's see if you can have a go at this. Just basically transfer the rice into this bag. Let's try and tip it in, and then we'll tie it up, and then we'll boil it again a little bit longer. And basically, what you want to create at the end is like a tightly packed rice. Okay, and then once you cool it down, you can cut them into these beautiful little squares. Okay, so I've got this heating up. I'm going to throw some oil in here.
So do you want me to try and squeeze as much as I can at the moment?
Yeah, if you could, that'd be great. Let me just steal this off you.
I'll get some.
Yeah, get what you need for it. Okay, look, I'm going to actually throw in the chili first and dry fry it till some of the moisture is absorbed. You can see this. Yeah, we're suffering here. We need a smell-o-vision so that people can suffer with us remotely. Hello. Can you use the same? Hey, Andy, you're making my absolute favorite. Thank you. can you use the same recipe for cooking satay on a cold grill? Yes, this is the recipe for, actually I used to cook it on a cold grill. Back when I was really a satay specialist, I had these proper, I can't even talk while we're doing this, so I'll talk after I've finished cooking this. I'm going to add a pinch of salt to this chili paste. I'm going to add a bit more oil to it.
I'm guessing we need a tie.
Yeah. So turn this off. This is just some chili that you can add to your satay sauce, right? That's how we do it in Malaysia. We don't put the chili in the satay sauce itself, the peanut sauce itself. We add it on top if we want chili with it. So can we actually just... Yeah. Let me just see if I can get another bowl for the peanut chili.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I'm just scraping this in. Okay, so this is the chili sauce, right? Here you go. Okay, on to making the satay sauce itself, right? So I've got this here, and Francesca was asking, can you make us some next visit? Yeah, of course, yeah. Last good satay I had was in Singapore. Oh, come on.
Oh,
that's because you didn't go to Malaysia. You didn't find a good one in Malaysia. Next time you go to Malaysia, the most famous satay is called Satay Kajang. Kajang is a place in Kuala Lumpur, which is the capital of Malaysia. Now, I don't know if this is going to work out, but this is the rice that we transfer into a bag. But usually it should be a lot more compressed, obviously, but it's a bit hard. It's already cooked because it's already expanded. Yeah. But the other way we used to make compressed rice, right? And some Malaysians do that as well, is they would cook some rice in a lot of water, right? To make it quite soft, right? And then they would put this in a pan, scoop the rice into a pan, right?
And cover it and press it down with something.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So they would actually put like lots of heavy stuff on it to compress it till it cools down, and then you can cut it into squares. So that's the other way you can make it as well. I just like to use the bag because then, you know, because usually when you press it down, you can still get the furry edges, you know what I mean? But I don't know if we've got anything heavy enough to be able to press it down with. Oh, please. I don't think it'll be heavy enough. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So I've got the oil going, and I'm going to throw in some garlic. And usually I would put in lemongrass, but I'll use up all my fresh lemongrass. So I might add a pinch of the lemongrass powder to this. But I'm going to use some, this is pre-fried minced garlic, okay? Fair bit of garlic. And like I said, usually lemongrass would go in now, but we don't have it. But we're going to add a bit of lemongrass powder, okay? And there's one ingredient we're going to use, something called tamarind. Tamarind is just, are you familiar with tamarind?
No, I've heard of it.
Okay.
I don't know that I'm used to it.
Okay.
Yeah, what is it?
I'm just going to add some water to this. We're not going to make a huge amount because we don't have that much peanut here with us. But let me just grab tamarind. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Tamarind is kind of like a, you know, a sour fruit that we use to add sourness to our dishes. Okay, this is what it looks like in real life. They look like these long pods along. They look like bean pods, but they're brown, and the fruit is sour, and you can actually even have tamarind as a sweet. Sometimes you can buy like packs of tamarind candy sort of thing, so they're coated in sugar, so you get the sourness plus the sugary sweetness in it. So I'm putting tamarind here. I didn't wash out the pan, that's why it looks a little bit red. But and then you want sugar, a fair bit of sugar. And different recipes will call for different amounts of sugar, but I tended to find, catering to an Aussie audience that they like the sugar. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of sugar.
We'll see how we go.
There's a thing about sugar these days. People are
Paranoid about it.
paranoid. Yeah. That's definitely not paranoid.
I'm very, very politically incorrect when it comes to food, okay? So I'm putting in my crushed peanut. Like I said, for whatever reason, whatever recipe it was I was using this for, I decided I wanted to this really, really super finely crushed, but usually you wouldn't need for it to be like this, okay? No. Usually it would be loose. Okay. Let's throw it all in there. If you don't have peanuts, like I said, crunchy peanut butter actually does a pretty good job of it. Okay, but remember, this is the peanut sauce or the satay sauce. It's not the satay itself. Okay, guys, get it right.
Yep.
And I want some salt in here. Okay, and I want some onion in here. But usually, you would use fresh crushed onion. But I'm going to cheat and use commercial fried shallots in here. Okay, so we're going to let this simmer. I think I need to change out the gas bottle. Let's have a look, see how we go. Any question? Jerry loves tamarind or the sweets anyway. But we haven't been to Malaysia yet. Yeah, we'll go with you. And you know what? I've been invited to go to Penang. So if you guys want to come along, still working out the details. But I'm meant to be shooting some videos in Penang.
Wow.
I know.
You might
It's
need
getting
someone to
harder.
carry your bags.
I know, right? What's your schedule like?
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
I can make myself available.
It's been a bit of a bugbear of mine traveling with Noah, right? To find, because I actually went to film a show in Malaysia, and I actually paid for someone to fly there with me to look after Noah.
Wow.
So that's the sort of gig you're interested in. It doesn't pay very much, but you get to stay in nice 5-star hotels, and you get to travel with me and check out the behind the scenes. Yeah.
Experience another culture.
Yeah. But I'm supposed to head out to Melbourne in a few weeks. I'm still waiting for the contract to come through. If it comes through, I'm supposed to go to Melbourne in a few weeks. Same dilemma as well. I put it in now. If anyone is interested, any brand's interested in working with me, there's a link on my website that says literally work with me, okay? And it tells you basically what's involved and all that. But I usually stipulate that, look, you want to work with me, one of the prerequisites is that my son Noah gets to come along with me. But of course, then once he's over there, then it's like, okay, I'm on my word. So I put it down as a stipulation. My son Noah gets to come with me. They say, yeah, okay, we'll cover his airfare and all that sort of stuff and accommodation. And I'm like, okay, now how am I going to work while I'm over there if he's with me? But I'll work it out. Okay, let's simmer this a bit longer. The peanuts taste a little bit like, you know what it's like when peanuts, have lost some of their freshness? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got a little bit of that. It's okay, he'll be all right. But as far as sweetness, I think it's okay. It's quite spicy.
Should be sweet after all that sugar.
So you want to simmer this till everything is dissolved and well mixed through. And then we're going to add the fried shallots to thicken it up in a bit, okay? Noah is awesome, the real star. He is, I know. He's more famous than me. I went to this restaurant a couple of weeks ago, and Noah decided to go and wander off and harass some of the other diners, right? And I had to go and fetch him. And I thought, oh, these people are going to be mad because he was bothering them, interrupting them. And I go and pick him up, and they look at me and they say,
so cute.
They look at me and they say, this is baby Noah, isn't it?
Okay,
so, yeah.
He's more famous.
Yeah, I know, right? There you go. So
That's how to advertise and publicise your son, is to have a TV show and talk about him.
right, yeah. For those who don't know, Noah is my Down syndrome toddler. He's 4.5. He's not technically a toddler, but he acts like a baby because he's got a mental age of about a 12, 18-month old kid at the moment. Okay, so he's very, very delayed.
But he's delightful. Delayed but delightful.
I'm glad you think so.
Indeed.
So this is thickened up quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going
I
to...
hadn't expected it to do that.
Yeah.
And is that peanuts mainly?
Yeah, there's peanuts mainly that's thickening it. I haven't added any external like thickener to this.
No. It's getting there.
Yeah. It tastes to me like it could use more sugar.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I like my
the importance
sugar.
of tasting it.
Mm.
Looks like it's quite vigorous now.
Okay. A bit of sugar means like 50% more. I'm quite ruthless. I don't measure anything like. Do you measure your? No. Good,
I just
good.
get the vibe.
Yeah. That's the way to do it.
I'm not a recipe person.
Yeah.
I have a few select recipes that I'm like things that I cook.
Yeah. The
My specialties.
one advantage I have, like when I'm Googling recipes, is that I know a few languages, right? And if you look for Malay recipes, usually the best blogs are in Malay. And if you read if you're one of those people who like to measure everything, this will drive you nuts because all the ingredient quantities will be like to taste, whatever to taste. But of course, if you're completely new to the cuisine and you have no frame of reference, is it meant to be more sour or sweet or something like that? You have no idea.
You go and check a packet or a jar and see, oh, it doesn't taste like the jar.
Yeah.
I'll better add some. That would be sacrilege, wouldn't it?
I'm going to add a bit more water to this because this is turning quite thick. Yeah.
Mm.
And the peanuts I used that you would notice earlier were quite like finely crushed, but usually this will look a little bit more like granular. That's the word. There you go.
Yep.
And I'm going to add the fried shallots in here. I'm so sniffly, I'm sorry guys. Okay, so these are commercial fried shallots and I know I'm totally cheating, but remember guys, right, I ran a restaurant and I ran a full-fledged Malaysian food business for the longest time, so a lot of the stuff I do are shortcuts, okay?
Yeah,
by necessity.
Shortcuts, which is a good thing.
So yeah, it can be a good thing, but it annoys the heck out of purists. Okay, so I'm throwing this in, but otherwise when you're using fresh onion, you would have crushed it at the start and fried it with the garlic, with the fresh garlic, and of course I use dried garlic as well, until it's aromatic, and that would have added like, apart from the peeling and the grinding and whatever, that would have added a good, you're doing the kind of quantities I do, that would have added a good hour, 2 hours of peeling, and frying up to your cooking schedule, okay? So I've added the shallots in here.
It actually smells beautiful.
Does it?
Yeah.
Glad you think so. Okay.
Definitely smells like peanuts.
And the shallots should actually blend in with the rest of these, so you shouldn't see chunks of it, but it's just stirring it a few times will get it right, okay? Here you go. And also you will find, especially if you add enough oil to this, you will find once this settles, you should see a nice sheen of oil at the top, and that's how you want it, okay? I've seen like in Australian cooking shows when they show you how to make peanut sauce, they don't even cook it. And to us, if you don't cook it, that's not peanuts, that's not satay sauce, okay? I've seen like basically in breakfast television where they make peanut sauce by just throwing peanut butter in a blender with like, with sugar and whatever, and zipping it and calling it peanut sauce. That's not peanut sauce, like not Asian peanut sauce. You have to cook it, okay? Yeah. So that's it here. Let's put this aside, and we're going to skewer the satays now, and we're going to clear a few things out of the way before that. Can I get you to actually, I'll help you. I'm going to take these in. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. And I'm going to show Juliet the technique for skewering the satays. I'm going to put this aside. We'll need to get. Oh, we might not do this. Okay, let's get all this out of the way.
Do you want me to take these out?
Yeah, just take it round to the kitchen if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the satays here. Okay, like I said, usually you will want to marinate this for a good 8 hours or overnight. But
we've done a good job with our vacuum.
Yeah. It's kind of like the blind leading the blind. I've got the manual somewhere. I just haven't bothered to read it. But okay, this is how you open it. I think.
It's got a thing on the side if that helps to lift it up the seal.
There you go. Genius.
I
should
know
have you
what?
back.
This you can have invite me back anytime. Look, see that probably goes with that top. Don't you? Maybe it was round.
Did we mess it up?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll see. I think it's pretty aromatic as is. Anyway, okay. So if you're just joining us now, this basically had garlic, turmeric, lemongrass, onion, and a little bit of galangal, but you can leave it out if you want. Okay, skewering. How many gloves?
There.
No, I used to make like hundreds and hundreds of these, right? So you run into.
She'll be pretty fast, and I'll be pretty slow.
You know what? I've got so many stories to tell you around like running a Malaysian food business. But what I would do is actually wear 2 layers of gloves on the left hand if you're right-handed. And the reason for it is if you go through the quantity of satay that I do, you'll end up stabbing yourself with the bamboo sticks. And I know a lot of people say, oh, okay, with the bamboo sticks, you need to soak it in water. I never did, okay? So for what it's worth, maybe it helps, but I used to, when I was a hardcore satay specialist, I used to cook my satays on these basically Malaysian satay grills, which are these really long, thin metal grills. And I
with flames?
With flames. I cooked it with charcoal, okay? But of course in Australia, it gets very tricky when you're cooking outdoors with charcoal. If there's a bushfire thing alert on, then it kind of messes up your day, because when there's a bushfire danger thing, you can't have like open flames outdoors. And also, like, depending on when you're cooking with charcoal, you run into trouble with when you're selling at a market store. You'll see if you have a nasty neighbor, they'll complain about the smoke blowing into their store, all kinds of stuff, right? So for those of you who are thinking of running your own business, food business at a market, it's a great idea until you run into politics at the markets. I always tell people it's not all kumbaya and all that. Some of these market store holders are quite, I guess,
aggressive.
Territorial and aggressive. God, she's good with words. I should get you to write my blog post. Oh, at night noodle guys with the charcoal grills cover half sit news video with your. See what I mean, Francesca? You know exactly what I actually used to sell satays at the night noodle markets. Do you know the Hyde Park night noodle markets?
I've never been to them, and I want to go to them. I've never done it.
Look, in all honesty,
it's on my to-do list.
In all honesty, they're so expensive.
Okay.
Because everything about Australia is generally expensive, but especially Sydney. I mean, I used to sell, I sold food there every year for probably about 8 years running, and then I quit because of Noah, because they changed the rules so that I could no longer bring Noah along, not even to the markets, right, because I had a babysitter for him there. They said I couldn't show up on site to unload my vehicle in the morning if I had Noah in the car with me. So that just made it too hard, and I said, okay, thanks, see you later. But skewering satays, right? So you want small pieces, and usually because we cook them on a satay grill, a barbecue, the most of the heat is generated in the middle strip. Okay, just kind of like if you imagine a barbecue like about this wide, the intensity is like around the middle, in the center.
Yeah.
So what you want is basically have the bottom pieces to be the thinner slices that cook faster, right?
Okay.
And what you want to do is skewer the meat lengthwise like this, okay?
Right.
And you want to hold it quite firm, and you want to make sure that there's no, like, it doesn't pierce through the skin in the middle, okay? Because any exposed bit of bamboo is going to be a a point of vulnerability when you're cooking this on an open charcoal grill, because it will burn off and it'll break off your satay sticks. Okay.
Okay.
So you can have the bigger pieces for what it's worth. I think all our pieces are actually generally quite even, but usually you would have the bigger pieces in the middle.
There might not be. She
Okay.
hasn't really looked at it
Okay.
yet.
So basically, and we would usually put about 3
I cut
pieces
them, so I know.
per stick. Okay.
So I'm doing it this way. There's a piece
Yeah.
that way, and,
Yeah.
I'm not to let the bamboo show
Yeah,
through.
that's right. So you don't want any gaps in between. Okay. I get people skewer their satays like this. That is so wrong. Okay. You want them all tightly compacted, no gaps in between, and you want to actually
So some of them might not be suitable if they're not thick enough, really.
Yeah, look, you want to feed it through
Dodgy.
the thin section. Okay, don't feed it through the thick section. Okay, and just hold it so that it's quite, so that it holds together well. Okay, now if you say this is a piece of meat, if you skewer it like stab it through the thickest section, you're gonna have a piece of meat that's hanging off like this, and that's no good.
Yeah.
Okay, you want it like basically you want to stab it along the length of it. Okay.
I didn't do this very well, some of these pieces.
That's no. They're fine actually. Okay, and you don't want ideally to have a piece of bamboo sticking out at the top as well, because what's going to happen is that it will burn and it will char, and then it will make it hard for you to pull the meat out. Okay, so these are the satays I used to make. I'll let you make a few more while I check on the rice and see if there's some way we can salvage it. I should have actually done a double seal of the rice.
Just do them at the ends, or do you push them?
Push them to the top. Push them to the top. To the top.
Oh, to the top that
Yeah.
way. Okay.
Yeah, and you want only about 3 pieces per length. Okay, so this is about the size of a kajang satay. If you can see it here, it looks quite large actually, but it will shrink a little bit when you cook it. Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah, perfect. Okay. So I don't know if we can salvage this rice. Remember, we cooked this in the bag, but the seal broke, and I should have done the double seal. And from memory, actually, I used to use a double bag as well in case there was any kind of like whatever, But I found, like with this compressed rice, right, we serve it colder at room temperature with the satays, that Aussies weren't really a big fan of it. They preferred hot boiled rice to go with their satay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a point of difference as well.
Okay.
So this is a lot of trouble for something that most of my customers will skip anyway.
Reject.
Yeah. Okay. And like I said, we usually would cook the satays on an open charcoal grill. At some point, it just got too hard. When I started running, when you specialize in one thing, you can actually have the charcoal grill going all day. Okay, when you're selling satay as one of about 30 different menu options, then it's a bit trickier. So we ended up actually just like at the restaurant, we ended up just cooking this over a stove. Okay, and the other shortcut we used to do at the restaurant was that we used to steam this till it's cooked, so that when someone gets an order, you just basically, otherwise to cook this from scratch over a stove is a little bit tricky.
It's a time thing.
Yeah. Okay, but we're going to try and use the grill here today, my Sunbeam tabletop grill, to cook it and see how we go.
My kitchen rules, which I'm a fan of, when they get to the restaurant section and they, have to do a whole heap of cooking crowds and things like that, and they do preps, that would be a useful tip, having pre-steamed things and
yeah, you know what? It's never quite as good as like cooking it like fresh. You know what? It's like kind of like yeah.
Okay, but it's just a
tip. A speed tip, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and really, like, there's no substitute for charcoal grilling, really. So cooking it under a grill here, you just got to cut us some slack, right? Let me just move some things out of the way. And I haven't used the grill function on this yet, but
it's a good opportunity.
Yeah. The other thing I want to mention is, so I've got this grill tray, and what I'm going to do is line this with foil, just so that, because it's going to drip.
That's very thin.
That's okay. That's fine. Okay? That's fine. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So I'm going to line this with foil so that the drips aren't going to be a pain to wash out later on.
Okay.
Okay. Now, you notice, and that's the other thing as well about a lot of Aussie grills. If you're trying to recreate a whole charcoal grilling thing, basically the wire grill is the wrong direction to how we have our satay. So usually I might just switch it over like this, right? Because in Malaysia, when we cook the satay, you want the lines to go horizontal.
Yep.
Most Aussie grills are like this.
Yep.
So you end up getting vertical stripes. And also my
can
satays
swing
are
it
so
around,
small.
so-
Yeah, I'm going to swing it around
We could
because
swing the things around, can't you?
swing which thing?
The chicken.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna. I can't because of the direction of the grill, because the heat is going to come off like off one direction.
Fair
And
enough.
what you want to do when you're cooking it on a grill as well is you want to stick a strip of foil along here, just to make sure that you don't burn off the sticks. Okay, so let's try this. I'll let you put some more in here. And this compressed rice, I hope it turns out. I'm going to throw it in the fridge for a bit to see if it will cool down in time for me to try and cut it up. It's still quite soft. Usually it should be quite solid, okay? But like I say, if you were making compressed rice at home, usually, you know, what they would suggest would be just to kind of like use regular rice, cook it with a little bit more water than you usually would, and then scoop it out into a tray, baking tray or whatever, and stick lots of heavy stuff on it till it's cooled down, and then you cut it into squares. But that wasn't how I intended to make it. But anyway, here you go. Let's throw it in the fridge. Okay, so we'll do a few more sticks, maybe a couple more sticks, and then we'll cook this, and then we can talk a little bit more about what Juliet gets up to when she's not helping me out in the studio over here. That's them. The lines are always so long. Yeah, the Hoi Pinoy, they started trading there like a year or two before I quit. And they're a huge hit. There's this Filipino store at the Hyde Park night noodle markets that sell these barbecue pork and whatever. I don't eat pork, so it wasn't a huge draw card for me. But I know that they're a huge hit in Australia at the Hyde Park night noodle markets. So got this lined up over here. Let's do one more here. And I'm going to get another strip of foil to line that bit there. Okay, so you want to basically have them all evenly lined up, and then you want to stick the foil here. And I'm going to turn this on. Okay, grill function.
This one's a bit more meaty.
That's cool.
Okay.
I guess the toast function is the right one. We'll see how we go.
Is it too much, too long, or compared to the others? It was tough,
yeah. We'll leave that out for the moment, and then we'll try this. And so,
Okay.
I hope I'm using the right function.
Do you want me to just keep doing them until you tell me not to?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay, cool. Good idea. Let me just get a couple more things out of the way. And the other thing I found really unusual when I first came to Australia 30 plus years ago was like at suburban Chinese restaurants, they'll have like satay stir fry. There's no such thing as a satay stir fry in Malaysia. So to us, satay always means meat on a stick, okay?
Yeah.
not as a stir-fried dish with lots of onion and like a yellow hue to it. You know what I mean?
Satay with other sauces beside the peanut sauce in Malaysia? Oh.
No, generally no. There are different types of satay. There's offal satay, right?
Okay.
Not awful satay, but offal satay, which consists of like bits of like intestine and all that. Very exotic, right? I had that.
Glad she's not doing that today.
I had that over in Kuala Lumpur, in only a specific part of Kuala Lumpur called Kampung Baru, which means new village. And it's basically like a rustic, old traditional Malay village within the city of Kuala Lumpur, which is otherwise very modern. And within that little village, there are a lot of food from other parts of Malaysia and beyond. And this offal satay place actually is Indonesian, okay? So they have very exotic kinds of satay. But one thing as well is that the sauce is not sweet at all. I found that very, very strange. But I guess it's a matter of getting used to.
What they're used to.
Aren't there many Philos restaurants in Sydney? No, not really. Yeah, I've got a few Filipinos in my audience. Insert is just showing the vacuum sealer. Okay, no, that's cool. Oh, good. So you can move over here and do this closer if you like, yeah.
Oh, now I'll be really under scrutiny.
Now, with the satays, right, usually when it's cooking, traditionally in Malaysia, some of the stalks, what they would do, if you know what lemongrass looks like, they look like these long stalks, right?
Yep.
And we always recommend when you're cooking with lemongrass that you use only the bottom, like I say 5 or 6 inches. Some people would say 3 to 4 inches. You know? But basically, the end of the lemongrass, the bottom half of it, what you can do is actually crush it and then use it as a basting brush. Okay,
lovely.
For the
With some
satay,
sort of
and that
flavour.
just adds that nice lemongrassy flavor to it. So you can try this, but like it's really unfortunate I couldn't find any lemongrass today. And also, if you want a nice glisten to it, just like brush it with a little bit of oil, but just be careful because it might actually. Okay, this is I'm using the wrong setting because it's
an oven or something, is it?
Yeah, well, it works as a grill as well. I'm just trying to figure out what the grill setting is.
Coming onto my back. It's very hot.
Function. Look, I've got manuals for all these, but who reads manuals nowadays, you know? Okay, so. Okay. That's the right setting. Nope. Pizza. Muffin.
Pizza.
That's it. When it's so simplified like this, you know, because it's got these little pictures of different types of food, like the piece of bread, size of pizza, what looks like donuts and all that.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure where I'm supposed to be.
Doesn't have a kebab on it.
No, there's no kebab. It needs a kebab. Where are we? Okay. There's a steak. Maybe a steak will do.
Yeah, steak would sound like a good idea.
That's the chili sauce. Okay, you can see it.
Ooh.
Okay, so it's got a sheen of oil over it. And that's the peanut sauce that could be more granular, but for the fact that we use really mushy peanut.
That smells so good.
Okay. And it could have used more peanut, more oil as well, because I like it when it looks like it's got a nice sheen of oil. Okay.
You're looking after us.
Yeah. And it's quite spicy because I didn't wash out the pot before I...
Oh, yes.
You can eat chili?
Yes.
Good, good. Okay.
Thank goodness. Imagine helping cook this and then not being able to taste it.
Yeah, I know, right?
Tragic.
Yeah. So let's put this out of the way. And also, I'm trying to think. Yeah, Julia.
Yes.
So what do you do the rest of the week?
Well, I'm a bit of a student at the moment.
What are you studying?
I'm studying some theology.
Okay.
Yeah.
At Moore College?
At Moore College, yes.
Oh,
theological, I have a background in, my background was originally a research, medical research background, and then I skipped across into Christian work at a church.
Okay. So what made you decide to change?
to, well, you know, dilemmas and working out where your priorities are and things like that.
Okay.
Just,
How long did you
I
work in
suppose.
medical research for?
I worked in medical research for 11 years and
Okay.
I worked at my recent church for 9 years as a women's pastor.
Okay.
And-
So this is a different church to the one I met you at.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess I was a Christian at university and
Which uni did you go to?
New South Wales Uni.
Right.
Yeah. So I was
Sorry
a Christian.
about
I was a Christian and involved in the Christian group at the uni, and
This is uni church?
it was related to uni church. It was
Okay.
called Campus Bible Study at that
Oh,
time.
yeah. I know campus Bible study. Yeah.
Ah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I was a keen student there, and found I wanted to grow not just in my science and
Right.
being able to be a you know, think things about, do my science research and things like that. I wanted to grow in my Christian understanding
Okay,
as well,
sure,
because
sure,
you know,
yeah.
when you're at uni, you get to grow and learn good stuff. But I wanted to
Yeah.
also learn about God, so
Yeah.
I took that chance to do that. In fact, I actually chose the uni that I went to because I went to the Christian group during my STUVAC with a friend who already went there, and that kind of convinced me that I didn't want to go to the other uni with all the beautiful buildings.
Sydney Uni, eh? Hey,
I
I went to Sydney Uni,
I
alright?
wanted to go to Sydney Uni when I was younger because of all the lovely buildings.
Yeah, Sydney
Yeah.
Uni is as close to an Ivy League
Yeah.
institution as it.
Yeah,
That's why
that's
people
right.
bigger there, you see.
Yeah, no, but it was wonderful. But and there's a Christian group at the uni at
EU.
Sydney as well.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
nephew was president of EU at some point.
Oh wow, there you go.
So I come from a very strong heritage of Christian leaders in my family. Okay, I want to brush some oil on this. This is what it looks like so far. It looks like a pale yellow color. It needs
Wow.
more color.
Yep.
So I'm gonna let this cook a little bit. I'm gonna brush some oil.
Are you going
on
to
it.
cut? What about this stuff the marinade? Would you put any of that on there
No.
or not?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's done its job.
Yeah, it's done its job. Let
Okay.
me just get some oil.
Cool. Yeah, so they used to have a Bible lecture every week
And
at the uni, at the university. So I wasn't just doing subjects on, physiology and pharmacology, which were my majors, my science majors.
what degree were you doing?
I was doing a Bachelor of Science.
Bachelor of Science.
Yeah.
At,
And I was in the medical faculty,
Okay.
so I did some anatomy and physiology, and I did do some maths actually.
right.
And yeah, but one of my favourite part of the week was actually the Christian group, and the learning from the Bible
Cool.
in a pretty deep way.
Cool. Were you raised a Christian or?
Yep, my mum.
Thanks for following. Yeah, go on.
What's that say?
She's,
Someone saying?
it's now, I think, following you. I think.
Oh,
I got cut off.
okay. Good.
Because you guys need to follow me and do whatever else so that I can see what's wrong with my setup. Or I've just realized that part of the sentence got cut off.
Oh,
Anyway. It makes us
I'll just be
happy,
talking
Venom
to
Place.
myself if you get
Thank
cut off.
you. Thank you, Venom Place. And Avril, yeah, Philo is very confusing. I mentioned that I've got a few Filipino-related people watching the broadcast, and they were chatting about Philo this, Philo that. And to you and me, Philo means pastry. And someone else, Avril, was saying that she thought that they were talking about pastry there, but actually, Philo is actually short for Filipino.
Yep.
Yeah, you knew that?
The context of what you said before, I got that.
Yeah, I know. It took me a while.
That's a bad one.
We might, yeah. It goes to show how tedious this is, right? Can you imagine doing like hundreds and hundreds of this? Yeah. Like I said, I've got so many stories to tell about getting staff to do this that it's just not even worth the airtime about it. But you can see why Satays cost what they do. I don't understand how in Malaysia, well, nowadays they cost a bit more, but back in my day, you used to eat. There's such small sticks that when my family went up to Kuala Lumpur to have satay from Kajang that I mentioned, satay Kajang is the most famous satay in Malaysia. they're such small sticks that we would have competitions to see how many sticks each of us ate, because you eat the sticks and then you lay them on your table. So it's kind of like counting sticks at the end of it. It'll be like, oh, I got 28 sticks.
Oh my goodness.
I know. We're talking about like, you know, scores of sticks. We're not talking like about 4 or 5 sticks. Whereas here in Australia, people expect their satays to be big, fat, and chunky.
Yeah.
And then they'll just want 2 sticks with rice or something like that. No, that's not real Malaysian satay. I mean, we do it that way because of like how
expectations
and also how tedious it is really in real life to kind of like do them small and try and like make them look elegant, right? Because there is a skill involved.
This is not elegant. I have to say, these are not elegant.
And the other thing as well, like, I'm just watching my. I'm just wondering if I can turn up the temperature. I think
It's
that's
not
the
quite.
maximum temperature, 230 degrees.
Oh.
Let me just try and turn it. Okay, no, 230 degrees seems to be the max temp. Okay, because ideally when you're cooking satay, you want to cook it in a hot coal, right? Hot coals, and also you want a fairly high heat. The longer it cooks, the tougher your meat will be. So I'm a little bit concerned about this. Okay, I'm gonna flip them over.
I've got good teeth. I can chew.
I'm already making excuses for how this will turn out. Just flip these around. And this has brought back memories, and I just remember now. If you go to Korean grocery stores, right? That's where I bought mine. But you know those flamers or whatever they're called, flame torches, kitchen flame torches to flame up like the desserts and all that.
Yeah.
You can get a cheap version at Korean grocery stores, and they attach to these gas canisters. Let me have a look. So basically,
oh wow,
these canisters that go in my little stove. I'm saying Korean grocery stores because that's where I found them. But you can get these things that attach to the top of these, and then they act like those flame torches. It's just much cheaper. I don't know how much the fancy ones that you see on TV shows cost, but
you can improvise with that. Basically,
but those things actually cost like, I remember it was super cheap, like I don't know, $10 or $20 or something like that. So butane torch, that's it, butane torch. Yeah, you know it. But let me grab, you know what? Let me grab my stove again. Okay. Let's switch sides again if you don't mind. Can I just get you to squeeze across there? So I want to just show people what. So I've got this stove here. And remember I said that I used to cheat in my restaurant and actually steam the satays, right? So that they're already cooked when people order them.
Giving away the tricks of the trade.
Yeah, I would then use the butane torch to flame it up, okay? Or you can just do this like this here, just to give it that, because that stove is just taking too long. It's just not generating that grill. Yeah, that grill is just baking it essentially. Maybe I should move it to a higher. Maybe I'll try that.
Yeah, that's another rack up.
Yeah, that's another rack. I should. Hi, thanks for joining Venom 77. Venom Play 777. Okay, so look, I'm just planing this out here, and again, just be careful you don't end up burning the whole stick off, right? Okay. When were you at uni? I'm just wondering. I'm way older than her. I'm older than just about everyone.
I don't know if she is, but we're not
sure
going to say this on public. I'm
not ashamed of my age. I wear it like a badge of honor. I'm old enough to be a grandmother.
I was at uni in '86. I started uni.
Okay, well, in that case,
we are. I'm older.
Only by virtue of the fact that I had to repeat a couple of years when I first came to Australia. I came in '84, and I was made to go back to year 10 because I didn't have the right paperwork to allow me to go on to do my HSC. Because in Australia, certainly back in those days, you're not allowed to go into year 11 without a year 10 school certificate. And there's no such thing as a year 10 school certificate in Malaysia, in the Malaysian school system, right? Oops. I was just about to say, see what happens?
So she's demonstrated this.
Yeah, I'm just demonstrating how you should pay attention when you're cooking this, okay?
And especially with flames.
Yeah. So you can see when you flame it like this, it doesn't look as pretty as if you were cooking this on charcoal, okay? But that's the kind of compromise we have to make. Yeah, I did consider actually having a charcoal barbecue with the charcoal going all night. But even even charcoal barbecues, you need to actually kind of like stir them and actually scrape off the ash and then replenish them. So it's hard work, you know. But
it's not what you can do with a little boy around.
Well, he was actually a baby at the time, but still.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I gave up my restaurant about 4+ years ago when he came out of hospital. I'm just about to burn off this next stick. But you get the idea, guys. I'm going to throw this back in here and cook it in here, and I'm going to move it up around, and hopefully it'll cook a bit faster. Okay, fingers crossed. So these are the kinds of rejects that we'll end up eating for staff meal. The ones that are broken off like this. Jackie, you aren't old. Andy, I'm like, I promise you, I'm probably about 20 years. I've got probably about 20 years on you, Andy. Hard work, but tastes so good. Going to a Korean barbecue restaurant. Yeah. If anyone knows any good Korean barbecue restaurants here in Sydney that are good value for money, let me know. Because I don't know what to look for, and I worry about paying too much for this sort of stuff because it sounds quite expensive, you know. Like, but yeah, if anyone knows any good, because I eat a lot. If anyone knows any, I eat a lot of meat in particular. There's a good one. Yeah, I used to live in Bondi Junction here in Sydney, Australia. I forget the name now, but there's an all-you-can-eat Japanese barbecue restaurant in Bondi Junction, and yeah, it's great. I mean, you'll be paying like I think about $60, $50-$60 per person for the top of the line menu, right, where you get more selections of like different cuts of meat and all that, but all you can eat, so that's fabulous. But if there's something similar for Korean, I would love to know about it.
For $20.
I love all kinds of barbecue. Got to try them all. You know what I really like? I really like Texas barbecue. I was over in Texas once. Oh, it's fantastic. Barbecue brisket, like smoked brisket. Oh my god. Yeah. So I go back to Texas just for that. I like Texas a lot. There's something about it I like. But yeah, yeah. Anyone knows any good barbecue restaurants? Let me know.
I reckon these are
yakitori.
These bits are coming to the drinks.
Yakitori, yakiniku. What's that?
I'm just getting mainly the drinks now.
Okay, that's all right. Yeah, that's cool.
That's an okay piece. But
yeah, that's fine.
Bits are a bit more.
Yeah, that's fine. So, so what are you doing nowadays, Juliet?
I'm actually
apart from studying
between jobs.
Okay.
So I've taken a bit of time out.
Okay. How long ago did you take time out?
Oh, I don't have to give too much time. My goodness. No, I can't. Just a few months I've had.
Sure. Okay. Right.
And yeah, just taking a bit of time out and doing some things that are a bit different.
Okay.
To get a bit of refreshment. And
sure.
Yeah, do some different things, and that's one of the reasons I actually have time to do this. Is but yeah, being in Christian ministry is actually quite an intense thing, and there's a lot of people work involved in it, and it's lovely to it's lovely to have a bit of time off as well. And yeah,
okay, how's this?
I've been doing some study which has been a bit of a shock to the system, but good reminder of what I used to be able to do.
You're studying like Hebrew and all those.
No, the subject that I'm doing at the moment, I've been doing is.
Okay, you can take off your gloves.
Yeah, I don't need to be touching that now, do I?
Let me get rid of that video.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've been just thinking about the topic of hospitality, so.
Right.
Thoughts a bit about
Have you ever worked in hospitality or?
No, I haven't officially.
This is what she's done.
Suppose, yeah, brilliant work.
I'm holding it to a camera that I just switched off.
Oh,
okay. So
I had to. One of the things that I really one of the things that's really good about being in Christian ministry is having lots of meals with people, and one of the things I enjoyed was having people over to my house a lot.
Okay.
Particularly after church, and we
Right.
get to know them a bit.
Do you do the cooking or?
Yeah.
Okay.
To do the cooking.
What sort of food do you do?
Well, in that sort of situation, I would do it a very, very simple meal.
Okay.
Because I don't want to spend my time in the kitchen. I want to talk to people.
Sure.
And that's the main reason of having them over.
I'm just going to cut up some cucumber, guys. So give me a second.
Yeah. No, it's just commonly people think hospitality is being hospitable is being fancy and using your most your lovely china and all the best.
Not me.
But I think that's intimidating, and sometimes
it puts people off even attempting it.
Off from doing it themselves.
Yeah.
But one of the things that was interesting is that you know what hospitality actually means? The Greek word for hospitality means? It means loving strangers.
Really?
Yeah, loving strangers. And so sometimes we think it's the fancy entertaining, but entertaining is very different. It's actually loving strangers in Greek. So
Strathfield is full of Korean barbecues. Yeah, I've seen them, but I don't know which ones are good. So if you know any particular ones, let me know.
Go wash my glass.
Okay. I'm going to put out some of this so we can present all this beautifully, okay? Or try to anyway. Let me check on the Satays. Okay, these are the two that I charred earlier. I'm going to turn on the video again, the other camera again. Okay, so these are the two I charred earlier. They look quite pretty,
lovely.
Right? Yeah, they look nicer off camera.
They're handsome.
On camera. Yeah.
Handsome.
We're going to get rid of this.
Hopefully the others will turn out that way too.
Yeah, but I want to actually, you know what? I'm going to bring this back. And I'm going to char the rest of them that are cooking now, just to give it a color. It's, it's cooking them, but it's almost like more like it's baking it, right? It's got that like just even cooked look about it. Just take it out.
Shall I put the other ones under there? Or?
Yeah, let's throw a few more in. Okay. So these are what they look like at the moment. You can see what I mean. They're cooked, but they're not like grilled per se. Okay, so I'm just gonna use some open flame to kind of flame it up a bit. So these are all cooked through. You should really only need to take about 5 minutes to cook your satays if you had a hot enough grill. Okay, but yeah, you can see how easy it is to burn off the stick. Okay, and the other thing is like satay is like any grilled meat, right? It's like the grilled steak or something like that. A lot of people will ask me, oh, can you freeze it or can you reheat it tomorrow and that sort of stuff? Yeah, you can, but it's like reheating steak. So ideally, this is the kind of street food. That's what makes street food so distinct from other types of food, right? And that's the problem with my specialty. It's not a problem, it's a blessing. And, it's a blessing, but it's problematic in that when people want to pre-order street food, they have to take into account that street food is really designed to be eaten fresh right away. Okay, it's not meant to be cooked in big batches and then like frozen and reheated, and that it will never turn out the same. Trust me. Okay, so it makes it a little bit tough when people want to buy food from me, right? So I then, like, if they want a party catered for or something like that, they can't really pre-order satay and then heat it up again like that night or the next day. It won't be the same. Then I tell them I have to cook it on site, and when I cook it on site and I have to pay staff for it, you're going to end up paying a lot of money for your kids' birthday party. Okay, so these are the satays. So ideally, you want a nice little oily sheen on it to make it look pretty. But having said that, right, over the years, because I've run this Malaysian food thing for decades now, really, having said that, I have actually attempted to pre-cook stuff and sell it, right, because, you have to make some money. But nowadays, in my old age, I get very, I'm less open to basically compromise, right? So
that's another way of saying I'm more fussy.
Yeah, basically. So let's see. Cyan plates. Are these chicken? Yes, they are chicken.
Yep.
Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna present this on a plate. I don't have pretty plates. I need a plate sponsor, guys. Let me just get this.
The food is the decoration in this case.
I like to think so. So this is my sister's
right.
plate.
It's a white platter.
Yeah,
That's great.
Platter. Okay.
Oh, very nice.
Cucumber. And usually in Malaysia, we actually serve some, not slices, but chunks of onion. But I'm not a huge fan of like raw onion.
Raw,
Yeah, raw
not
onion.
red, but dark white onions.
They are usually more of a. I used to use Spanish onion at my restaurant,
Right, okay.
but
I don't mind Spanish onion raw.
yeah. Okay.
So there was another one
again
on the side, which was
okay. And I'm gonna stick some of the sauce in a bowl.
Mhm.
Let me just rinse this out a little bit.
just in case.
And let's see what's happening with the rice.
Oh, the rice end.
So this is that rice that didn't work out, okay? And if you joined us late, what we tried to do was basically boil rice in the bag, all right? Which is how I used to do it. Because traditionally in Malaysia, what we serve with satay would be these compressed rice squares that are cooked in these woven coconut leaf baskets, right? They're basically rice packed tightly in these coconut leaf baskets, and then they're simmered for hours and hours. And what I used to do to replicate that in my restaurant was basically make rice in a bag, okay? This is actually a cloth bag, but usually I used to make them with the with vacuum bags, and then I would vacuum seal the bags of rice, and then subsequent to that, I'll poke some holes in the vacuum bags, and then I'll poach the bags, right? But when we tried it earlier, the seal broke, so I should have actually done 2 seals and maybe double bagged it as well. Okay, so we ended up transferring the rice into a cloth pouch and then tried to compress it like that. And this is what it looks like now. I'm just going to open it up.
Work? Oh, wow.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not as niche as it would have been.
Yeah, not as neat as it would have been. Okay, so there's that lump of rice. Okay.
So you'll just chop it up into cubes.
Yeah, let's just do this. Yeah.
Oh, wow. There you go. I've learned a lot today.
Yeah. Look, ideally this rice would be cooked a few hours, but we only cooked it for like half an hour.
A few hours.
Yeah, usually in those coconut pouches, they would be simmered like in a big
and the
pot.
consistency would make it really, really mushy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it would actually turn out. It would look like a cleaner cut than this. Okay, I'm not using a very sharp knife here, but you would usually, you would usually get a. Let me just try and replace knives and see how we go.
Wow.
This is probably gonna not even. This is a Chinese chopper, but okay.
So just little bite-sized pieces.
Yeah, little bite-sized pieces of rice. Okay. So you could really kind of like get like muslin bags like these. This is a double layer of muslin bag. Throw some rice in it, tie it in a knot, and then boil it. Yeah, to get these compressed rice.
Tie it very tightly, or because it's going to swell. You know it's going to swell.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. See, she knows all this.
Oh,
you're pretty damn.
No, it's a question. It's a question.
Yeah, no, exactly. But you think logically, you see.
Yeah.
Okay. So usually there'd be more even like squares. Like, okay, I don't want to cut it too small, but usually there'd be more even squares than this. Okay. But like I said, I used to make this for the heck of it, just for being authentic. But most of my Australian customers don't care for it. They want hot boiled rice with their satay. Okay. So that's that. And satay sauce.
That would be nice. But this is an authentic meal.
Yeah, this is an authentic meal. So this is the satay sauce, and usually we actually just to show people what it looks like.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, Oh,
So this is how you would have your satay, okay? So I've put a little bit of a chili on top, and that's how they usually would have it. They have a little bit of chili on top, and you can stir it in, or you can, I guess, scoop it out, or tell them no chili, okay?
So I think you should put it down a bit.
Okay. With this camera?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let me take some photos, and then we can eat. Okay. There you go, guys. What do you think? Okay, let's wrap up and talk a little bit more about what you do. Let's talk a little bit more about what you do.
What I like to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, we're going to cook that other lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still going.
About hospitality and Christian ministry.
Yeah.
It's not every day you meet someone who's a Christian worker, right? Admit it, guys.
Well, hopefully you know some other Christians, and really that's what I'm a Christian, and I think that's the thing is if you're a Christian too, and so yeah.
I'm a new Christian, but I have been immersed in Christian culture for the longest time. I was a very
so you were taught.
Yeah,
you understood what the Bible said.
You know, the funniest thing was that for years, because I started going to church when I was a little kid, because back in my hometown in Malaysia, there was a church planted by these American missionaries, right? So I grew up with the, Jesus loves me, this I know, that sort of stuff, and all those kind of stuff. Yeah. But it never actually sunk in about what it meant.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Until very recently. It's really strange. For years and years, for 40 plus years,
you
learn all this and you think, okay, yeah, jolly good. I used to go to Bible studies. I was a church warden for a while.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I know.
But didn't actually understand.
Yeah, didn't really understand. Because you were just going through the motions, being a, I think.
Yeah, that's
right?
interesting.
And then my life kind of like took a completely 180 turn, and then I'm back now, but real. God. Yeah. So much.
Do you know what? There's something that Jesus said. He went out to the desert. Remember, in the beginning of his ministry, he went out to the desert and he said, this is where he was tempted by Satan, the devil, and God was. So Jesus went out to the desert and he was fasting for 40 days and he was praying and getting ready for the mission that God had given him, and so Satan comes along and he says, "Hey Jesus, I know you're hungry now. Turn these stones into bread." It's like turn these stones into bread. Yeah. You can do this. And Jesus said, "Man does not live by bread alone, but by the word of God." So it's really pointing us to the fact that we are actually hungry without. There's some part of us that is actually hungry and needs feeding.
That's profound. Food. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, it's spiritual food that we need. So this is beautiful. I love it. I don't go against beautiful.
Let's try a stick, right? Let's see how it turns out. Ooh. Yeah. I don't know how it tastes.
Thank you.
I haven't made this in years and years.
Do we without the dippy?
You can
dip. I'm not going to do the chewy stuff yet.
It feels to me like it could use more flavor. But see what I mean about the peanuts being not quite fresh?
No.
Okay.
It's perfect.
It's beautiful, guys. It's perfect.
It's really perfect. That's lovely.
And then you would basically have this with the sauce as well, the rice cubes and all that.
So I'll take a cold.
Yeah. So I'm going to post the recipe at jackiem.com.au. 10 out of 10. You need to do you need to do the 10 taste testing. Yeah. See, she says it's good.
You know what? All those cooking shows that I've ever watched, the people come on there and they only have about one mouthful out of what they've been given to taste. I don't know how they can do it. This is so nice.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Very nice.
Yeah. Okay.
So I have to finish this satay.
I think the flavor needs a little bit of tweaking, but you've got the general idea, right? You see how easy it is to make satay? The most time-consuming thing is sticking the... Okay. But I think you've done a beautiful job with this.
They are tasting really good on their own.
You think?
Yeah. But it adds something to have the satay.
The sauce.
The satay. I just did the wrong thing. The satay is improved by the sauce.
Yeah.
Or enhanced, is that the right
word? The sauce really makes the satay to me. But like I said, I'm a little bit disappointed that the peanuts aren't quite as fresh as they could be. But usually my sauce tastes nice. I'm famous for my satay sauce. But
And you don't want to be wasteful.
yeah,
So just use
but
what you've got.
yeah, well, that's fine. I didn't want to go out and buy another pound of like peanuts just to make this, you know, because
You just need a little bit.
yeah. But like I said, look, if you don't want to use fresh peanuts, peanut butter, you know, actually works really well with this. But try and get crunchy peanut butter, and all of this is just oil, garlic, onion. If you're using fresh onion, you can throw it in first, like but crunched, like not sliced onion. All right, guys. So you want pureed onion, or do what I do, use like pre-cooked, pre-fried shallots, right? And lemongrass ideally will add a nice tinge to this, and then fry it up, and then you add tamarind, which is that sour fruit extract. You can buy, I use a jar of it. You can buy them pre-extracted, or you can buy tamarind fruit and then like add hot water to it to kind of like extract the but otherwise, if you can't get tamarind, lemon juice will do it, because all it does is really just add that little sour undertone to the flavor, and then there's sugar and salt, and yeah, just boiling it till it's thickened. Okay, so that's satay sauce, very easy. And like I said, recipe at jackiem.com.au will be up by early part of next week. So thank you so much for joining me, guys, and don't forget, if you're not watching this on Twitch, go to jackiem.live, okay, and that will take you to my Twitch page, and follow me there, and I look forward to seeing you on Monday. Thank you so much for your help, Juliet. She's been a great help, actually. Would you like to have her back? Right, tell us more stories about the Bible.
Some Bible stories I could tell.
I know, right?
All about
I know.
Food.
I know, isn't that? Go figure. I mean, I've never associated biblical teaching with food, actually, but now that you've mentioned it,
no, Jesus
good
was
thinking.
very. Jesus said a lot about food, and he said a lot about. He talked to people in the context of food. So, and yeah, did a few miracles.
You need to write a book about it. Is there a book about it?
The Bible. Go and read the Bible.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you again.
Bye.
Ciao.